double check. Twitch/Bosanetich.
Currently says you're still hosting somebody.
Interesting.
My buddy Stefan.
Oh, there it
And
goes.
there he goes.
Hey, there we go.
Yo.
Yo.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. I had Twitch unmuted, so... what else? I need to full screen the main view.
Woo.
Woo! Woo! Twitch sub!
Yo, there it is.
Alright, let's get started. Who's doing the summary for this week? As
How about
per
we
usual,
do a group summary, just because it's unlikely that any of us will this session.
Excuse me?
I said, why don't we all do a group recap, as all of us do pretty much recap what our characters did in the last session, and then, since it doesn't going to matter, it doesn't matter if anybody gets the D4.
That's what you.
I mean,
Or
okay.
we can choose one person to get it.
You know what? For the special circumstances, I'll be the one doing the summary, I guess.
That sounds about right.
So last session, the 4 surviving party members from the assault on Thistletop managed to escape from the leftovers of the goblin camp and the pursuers from the ruins beneath. Through the forest they went and split up the party between the two squishy casters slash support characters on horseback, and left the 2 rangers to fend for themselves on their way back. Meanwhile, in town, a ship arrived, and from it descended 3 new cough party members, interesting characters, namely Red, Bell, and 1 dwarf, Dorban, Plate Rock. By the time the party arrived, the two forward members of the party arrived. They went straight for Mayor Deverin's office, told the mayor about what had happened, and once more splitting the party. Sigus was left with the task of jotting down every detail possible about Thistletop and what had occurred there, while Solera went back to the Rusty Dragon to deal with her emotional damages. At the same time, Bell had arrived at the Rusty Dragon, met an old acquaintance of his, good lord, an old acquaintance of his, and Amiko Eijitsu. They were chatting a little bit, and that's where Bell very briefly met Celera. Red, in the meantime, was having a little bit of a discussion with the local crime lord, one Jubrail Brisky. Yeah, Brisky. Jubrail Brisky. And Dorban was trying to get himself a job, let's put it that way, as a goblin hunter. That being said, the session ended roughly around the end of that day, just after Dorban had crossed paths with Sigus, just briefly, and then went to meet up with the sheriff. So that's where we're going to pick up. Dorban, you're still at the mayor's office. No, not the mayor's office. At the garrison, just across the road from the mayor's office. And sure enough, after having waited for about an hour, the the sheriff, one very, let's put it, let's say imposing, very stern, um, local man, with a rather neutral tone, comes in, says, "Right, welcome. I've been told you were looking for a job, hunting some goblins.
Yeah,
Well,
figured you guys needed it from what I heard. So
well, uh, things have been complicated, and we've been suffering losses, quite a few of them. Um, Case in point, recently we've had a terrible loss. Someone we considered somewhat of a local hero. Two of them. They fell in battle with who we believe to be behind these raids. I There are a few. We're trying to gather some forces. Um, we finished the job. Uh, if you would be interested in that kind of work, we're in need of able hands.
most definitely, anybody that works with goblins should be put down like a goblin.
Uh, Fine words, indeed. Well, in that case, I recommend that you make yourself known. Um, uh, you should talk to Sigus. He should be speaking with the sage by now. Uh, I recommend that you go and visit the Rusty Dragon tomorrow morning, first aid, at the break of daylight. You should be able to find Sigus there. Um,
All right, I can do that.
if you're unable to find him, um, come meet me at the mayor's office tomorrow at noon. I'll
All right.
be gathering the rest of the men.
You said there's heroes of the town. I assume that there's more than just this Sigus character. If I get a general description of each of them, that would be great.
Well, three of our newest heroes were vanquished in battle, and the remaining two, sorry, remaining three. Well, two of the three arrived at town yesterday. The third one is still missing. Sigus is a strapping young man, uh, half elf. Well, it's hard to tell. Um, he's the nephew of our local alchemist. Um, a little bit of a wild hair, brownish. Oh yeah,
Oh,
tall, and he gestures about his shoulder height.
I think I saw him
Oh,
actually on the way here.
well, that saves some issues. Well, you shouldn't have too much of an issue recognizing him. He's a little bit
Yeah.
of a odd, odd fellow. He stands out a little bit. The other surviving hero is Silera. He's she's just you can tell that he's trying to make justice to Silera's uh, description without sounding he's trying to hold back on something. Put it that way. He's trying to hold
All right.
something back, and it's quite obvious as you see him fumble for words in his.
Can I get Can I do like a sense motive to see
Yeah,
what he's
yeah,
holding back?
sure. Give me a
Yeah.
sense motive. You get the feeling that he was about to say, the describe her physically, and he's trying to avoid specifically that part. This is, she's about yay high, golden, flowing hair, brilliant eyes, slightly pointed ears. She's not um. You'll recognize her when you see her. She seems to have this aura around her, one might say.
Alright. I gotcha. Sure.
Right.
I mean, they're the heroes of the town now. I figured it wasn't going to be too hard, but just general description was all I really
Ask
needed.
around, and I'm sure someone can point you out in the right direction.
All right. I appreciate it. I won't take up any more of your time.
Thank you.
And I'm staying at I don't remember what the name of the place was called again.
If you're staying at the one that isn't the Rusty Dragon, the White Stag.
It's the expensive one. Yeah.
White Stag. Currently, the prices for the beds are the same in both places.
Oh. Right. Well, I was informed that it was the more expensive place.
Yes.
It was the nicer place.
It is the nicer place, but not quite as popular for some reason. Yeah. In the meantime, Sigus.
Yeah.
Last time, you ended parting ways with the mayor and heading over to the Sage's house, the house of one brother Quink. Yes. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Which was not necessary.
Okay.
God, I wish you weren't so fucking awkward.
Oh my God, I know. I try.
So you left heading for Brother Quing's house with the intention, as had been discussed, of researching. I can't quite remember what it was that you wanted to research, but I do recall that you wanted to research something regarding possibly the attacks on Sunpoint and or the ruins that you had found at Thistletop.
Just opening up my notes, but I wanted to go talk to him about like the plans and trying to figure out, go work through some of the magic, and then I also might talk to him about this crazy key I found. Yeah, just kind of run it by him and knowledge.
Sure. So it is a little bit late into the day. It's late dusk. Let's put it that way. But sure enough, you find that Brothert is in his house, studying some sketches by candlelight. And once you arrive, it takes him a minute to break away from his study. But sure enough, he heads over to his door, opens up, and says, "Vegas, you're alive? I thought you were dead."
I am alive. I think I'll give him a big hug.
Yeah, he sort of rushes out of the door and grabs onto you and pats you. And like once you break away from the hug, he sort of pats your shoulders, your sides, and like makes sure that you're actually a physical apparition in front of him. Yeah. So he sort of pulls back and says, "Well, come on in. I'm certain you have a story about how you survived that kind of explosion."
I do. In fact, I would love to tell you all about it. I was hoping to. I'm trying to solve it out. I've discovered so much, and I was hoping that you could help me. So I'll kind of tell him. Do you want me to kind of tell it in character, or do I would just tell him kind of about
Tell me
getting
what
teleported?
Tell me the details of like the bullet point of what you want to talk about with him.
So for him, I'm gonna be like getting pretty into the details.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with
In
being
that case,
teleported in there.
Yeah, in that case, tell it to me in character then, just so that I know what kind of interactions we're having here.
So things are a little fuzzy on how I got there, but before the explosion, I appeared in this. I must have been teleported, and I woke up in the dark. But I was this tomb, and I was in this. I don't know where it was, but it's this old, ancient, or was it Thessalonian tomb? And there was 3 rooms. One was this lab. Another was seemed to have this. There were statues, and one statue of a king, and it seemed to be a throne room. They had a
Fascinating.
hologram, but it was damaged on loop, giving some instructions. I have a transcript of that, and I'll kind of open my book and kind of.
Actual working mechanisms from Thassalon?
Yes, it was
Quite a,
fascinating.
quite a discovery.
Yeah, and I found a bunch of runes, and I'll show him the sketches.
Sure.
And there was also this magnificent and terrifying door. And I was and on the other side there was this demonic entity. Let him out because I had this key, and I'm gonna pull out this key, and I'm gonna show him this multi-starred key. I've been studying it briefly when I could. It seems incredibly powerful,
Fascinating.
and I found it on the rooms in the only other thing in the room, for the laboratory, the stone room, and the door. There was a basically of I think it was over 10,000 years, an actual Thessalonian wizard something, and he was research, and I with a book, and it crumbled to dust when I like touched it. But what I could get, it was all relating to the ancient magics that you've got me into, and I've been trying to decipher, and I'll kind of
This is
my
wonderful
research.
news. Uh,
Well, I'm so excited, and so
so
I ended up
you
getting.
said that you were teleported there by, when the explosion went off.
Right before there was this symbol, this one, as you can see in the book. I did the sketch. Now this wasn't the one I did, but I think they were the same, and I don't know what triggered it there. And the way I got out was I was looking that this is this old magic, and it needed to be fueled by something, and there was some kind of relation between the proximity of the key, but also the closer I got, the more one react, but it would also do that when life force got close to it. I didn't know what the explanation was, but as I
haven't.
tried to activate it.
I haven't seen this kind of room before, but seems like a strange composition of some other rooms I've seen.
I believe this is an old one that is like a base of magic that has evolved into what we know now.
Well,
the
I can tell you something about the Sahedron you have in that hand, that key. The 7-pointed star is a very common symbol from Thassalon. It's one of the most widespread symbols. It originated, well, no one's quite sure where it originated, but the general consensus among historians is that it represents the symbol of magic, and also it is commonly associated in ruins in books that have survived from the period to be a representation of the 7 virtues of the rulers, wealth and rightful pride and honor. I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering the 7 virtues right now.
So would you? It's all right. Do you know do you have any kind of things you would recommend I give a read through that I haven't already gone through?
Well,
Interested in these as the basis of magic, and I know that they relate to some of the future ones that we study.
Certainly.
How I got out, because
I
me,
do have some books you could browse through to find a bit more detail into those. Right, right over here. And he
Perfect.
shows you to one of the piles of books.
Awesome.
And he sort of hands you over a dusty, heavy encyclopedia. And he sort of trades you the 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 key, the Sahedron piece pendant thing that you have for the book, as he starts to sort of peruse the runes that are inscribed on its surface.
Yeah, I'll totally let him. I'll lend him the key, but I'm kind of gonna keep him in sight. But like any insight you can give me would be lovely.
Certainly. I need to get some magnifying glasses for this. Give me a moment. And like he puts the key on his desk, and you see him pull out this contraption that seems to have several levels of magnification, several magnifying glasses placed one in front of the other, hanging from a single arm.
Excellent.
Well, take me a minute or two.
Take your time. While you're doing that, I'm going to set out some stuff because there's more to tell. But the long story short is I ran into another wizard who's working with the goblins, and I swiped some of her research. And I was hoping that you could help me make some. It looks like she was also researching some Thessalonians. It's not complete, but I was hoping you could help me try and get anything I can get from that.
Give me a knowledge history check with a +5, as you have
Okay.
here access to quite an extensive library of Thessalonian related books.
Okay, one sec. What my 20s tab seems to have
Right.
vanished on me, but I'm just pulling it up. It should be real quick. I don't know what my knowledge.
Did someone just say chirp?
Yes, our smoke detector is hooked into the wall, but over the last 2 days, it started to do the chirping when they're like low on battery. Even though it doesn't take batteries, it's connected to the wall, and it's driving Morgan a little insane. And she is now
Chirping
realizing
back.
that frustrated. Yes, she is yelling. She is chirping at the smoke detector.
That's
Got
She
it.
has
amazing.
become the smoke detector.
Yeah.
Yes, they would like to point out that you have become the smoke detector.
Alright,
She says she has become the thing she's hated.
Yeah.
What have you become? Alright. Ooh, nice.
Damn.
And that's without your +5, so that's gonna be a 32.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, what you find from the books and cross-referencing with those the documents that you've obtained, there's all of the documents you've managed to swipe seem to be either an original or a copy of a thesis on two different locations. One of them is the Thessalonian ruins in Magnimore. The other seems to be detailing the possibility of um, Thistletop's original design. And there's a sort of a cross reference. You had part of the sketch in the thesis, and there's also like an original sketch of the outside of Thistletop in one of the books, and it sort of portrays a massive statue holding a glaive and a shield, and sort of overlooking a plains. That spreads as far as the eye can see. Um, that being said, the details of the thesis is in vaguely is talking about the usage, the possibilities of different intentions for those two locations. But it's mostly conjectures and like derivations of other works. Yeah. Uh, That being said, what Brothers will be able to tell you about the pendant is that it is most definitely Thessalonian in design. Um, the runes inscribed on its surface are Thessalonian runes. Um, and it seems to be some kind of pass phrase that has been etched onto the surface. Um, and it is meant to. It is magical in itself, very faintly, but still magical. It is most definitely a key to unlock something, and with the story that you've given him, he theorizes that it should be the door that you found at the same location.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will and I tell him that I will be by soon, but I unfortunately there as with all this stuff going on, things are moving quite quickly. And
Of
I'll
course, of
say
course.
how much thanks so much. I always value your counsel and helping me keep my head on straight. Um, as soon as I can.
All right, all right. Do come back with if you find anything else about Thassalon. I'm dying to see what
I'll be,
your future findings are. Are by
all
far
right.
the
Well,
best student I've ever had.
little shadow across Siggis's face at the words "dying to see it," but he's like, sure, yeah, of course, and then he'll
All right.
into the night.
All right. Unless
I'll
anyone
be
wants.
heading towards the Silera to try and meet up.
Okay. Unless anyone wants to stop me, aka has any kind of interruptions that they want to do before daylight breaks, we're gonna be skipping to the next day.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, sounds about right.
Ah,
And
yes, of course. I wasn't sure if you were back, Red.
no, I have done a return. But Red would at least want to case the joint and
Case the
figure out how
joint.
he's
All
gonna
right.
get into the prison.
Now that Sheriff Baylor is back and he has brought mercenaries to reinforce the guards at some point, it seems that there's quite a bit of traffic in the garrison, and getting into the the prison cells, is not going to be an easy task. Um,
Yeah, that's
some of the boys know the place inside out. They've been there more than a few times due to rubble housing or drunkenly disorder. Um, that being said, they will let you know that the place is quite secure. Number one. Number two, there's only two ways to get in there.
getting arrested and
Breaking in through the front door, essentially.
hmm. And do we still have any people on the inside?
Right now, there is one person who's
On pay, but
on pay and has been got them. They got themselves arrested intentionally in order to keep an eye out.
uh okay. Distraction it is then.
And you
Alright.
do know that should Sheriff Baylor recognize you,
Oh yeah, I'm totally fucked.
he does have a bounty for you
Yeah.
for your past crimes, for which you are wanted in town. Well, not exactly in town, but the sheriff does suspect you of being a primary, a very strong candidate for having been the perpetrator in several crimes that were left unsolved. Let's put it that way.
I do believe that he can't prove anything, though. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Anyway, my point is, I think, like, via some combinations of stealth and perception, he would kind of want to case the joint, get an idea for, like, at how big of a window he has with minimal people, and kind of see if he can come up with an idea to get people away from there.
All right.
If not, he'll have to
Um,
rethink his strategy.
what it looks like is by the time that dawn is approaching, you've been casing the joint, sort of. You've got a stakeout going essentially, as you're trying to figure out what the guard patterns are, um, and it looks like they got it pretty much on lockdown. The best time to strike would be when Sheriff Baylor retires for the night, which is um, a few hours before dawn until a few hours before noon. Um, it's sort of strange the man doesn't seem to sleep enough at all. He seems to be gone from the garrison for about 6 hours, and then he's back. Um, that being said, it is already done, and as your stakeout sort of concludes, Sheriff Baylor is out. You have about probably 4 hours until he comes back at the very least.
Ooh, do I think I could try to impersonate one of the new mercenaries, or do all the guards in town know my face?
You do know that the mercenaries have only joined the local forces for a day.
No, I meant would the local guards know my face?
Uh, some of them may, but you also know that if you get lucky, maybe none of the local guards are in the garrison at the time.
Alright, well, I got some gold. This seems like my opportunity. Let's give this a shot.
Sure. As you head into the garrison, you
Let me know when I
find.
have to start rolling checks.
Sure. Where are you going for? Are you trying to disguise yourself as well as?
He's if he sees a group of mercenaries walking in, what he'll do is he'll kind of, as they're walking up towards the garrison, he'll kind of tag along with them and kind of, you know, tap one of them, tap one of them on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, God, you you walk fast. I gotta. Oh my goodness. You guys are hard to
But
keep up with. You left me behind back there. Uh, is this the is it this is the sheriff's place, right? This is the constabulary. I'm still getting a little lost in this place.
um, just so that you are aware, even though the mercenaries have only recently joined, all of them would be wearing a tabard with the colors of the town, to
Okay,
signify that they are part of the guards.
maybe not then.
Okay.
Sorry, I was
You
not
could you
aware they were
could try and,
signified.
for instance, steal one from them if you wanted to.
Uh, I mean, sure, but I don't know if I can steal it off their back. Are there like tabards hanging around drying or something?
Well, you would need to get into the garrison to find them. You can tell, like, because you've been casing the joint, um, probably from one of the nearby rooftops, you were able to see a little bit into the garrison. There's a makeshift, sort of overcrowded barracks inside of the garrison. And on one of the sites, there are some clothes left to dry.
Okay. All right. In that case, slight change of plans. So what he'll do is he'll kind of wait for a group to walk in and hopefully kind of distract the others inside, and he'll slip in and try to grab uh one of the tabards on the drying rack.
Sure. Give me a stealth check then, and a bluff as well.
Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, that's not bad. And ignore the plus 11 though.
Yep.
And
Ignore the very minor fucking plus 11, but all right.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's not great.
All right, so you sort of head towards the garrison. You manage to find a moment where one of the groups of mercenaries are going into the garrison. It's two of them. One seems to be a larger man with clothes that seem to be armor that seems to be on the heavier side, but it's still leather. And the other one seems to be a woman sporting lighter metal armor. And both of them have their tabards on. And just as they go in, two of the mercenaries change shifts with them. The two going out sort of spot you for a moment. They give you a nod, thinking that you're about to walk past them, like along the road. As they start to head back towards the barracks, and you manage to take that very small window of time to pass along and walk discreetly between them. Now, being inside the garrison, do you want to where would you like to proceed to? Inside, outside, the barracks. The barracks are sort of entered through the side. You could also go into the prison area.
He's going for the drying racks first, I think, because he wants something that he can
Okay,
kind of plausibly have on.
sure. Give me another stealth check. As you're slowly following the two that are heading towards the barracks. And the two of them seem to be a little bit distracted in their conversation. They take a left turn as they walk through the very small patio where clothes are hanging. And as you uh, turn the corner and are about to sort of stand in plain sight of them, you manage to take a couple more steps and hide quite clumsily, but still hidden from their view behind some drying set of sheets, bed sheets. And sure enough, there are two towers that have been left to hung to dry.
Great. Gonna throw one of those on and then make for the prison.
All right.
I am surprised I have not been caught already.
So you put on the tabard. It's still a little bit wet. Sort of like
fine.
that. You can feel the coldness of it. Sort of a lot less than the fact that it's not quite dripping, but it's that
It's a
point.
little heavy.
Yeah, it's a little bit heavy and really cold as it has been left to dry, left hanging to dry. You turn around, go back the way you came, and walk into the main area. The man behind the counter is, luckily enough for you, not one of the locals. None that at least that you recognize. They look at you, they give you a nod, and they pick up the book and go like, "All right, what is the reason you're here for? What do I need to write in the book?"
They said that we needed a shift change for the guards downstairs.
That's downstairs. Which
Yeah.
downstairs?
Prison
Right.
level, like with the
Yeah.
cells.
Thought that was not due for another 6 hours.
I don't know. I just do what they tell me, man. I'm here on a paycheck.
Right. Give me a bluff check.
God damn it.
Oof.
Alright,
He's not buying that shit.
Right, okay, but, look, where are you supposed to shift this? There's two right now. Are you supposed to be my change of shift? Because, we're supposed to change this mark in 4 more hours.
He'll kind of like look at him, and I'm assuming this guy's kind of giving him a funny look at this point.
No,
He'll
he's
be
sort of like trying to read a ledger that he has in front of him, and like he can't
Okay.
make tails or heads or tails out of it. He's like, nope, nope, and like he keeps changing back and forth between pages.
And he'll look at him and be like, "Well, you aren't guarding the prisoners, right? They said I was a shift change for the guy on the prison level."
Right, that prison level also includes a front desk, I thought.
Oh.
Good. Perhaps I did miss here. Sure.
I mean,
Go
if you
on
want
ahead.
shift change, I can
I'll...
be your shift change. I don't really care. It's a paycheck either way, but
No, but you need to change with who you were instructed to change with.
they said prison level, so
Right, must be. Yeah, must be the other guard. Like he keeps changing pages, trying to find the name of the other guard. He's like, Suvat?
that
Sumvat.
sounds right. It was something impronounceable, but that
Yes.
sounds right. I think it was an S.
Yeah. No, I think it's VC. It's Zubat.
Oh, that's why I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Right. Local names, eh?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, he sort of like gestures for you to keep going.
All right. He'll kind of slap him on the back and be like, sorry I wasn't your shift change. I'll see you in a couple hours, eh?"
And yes. Like he lets you go. You go to the left, down a short flight of stairs, and then around the corner. Well, after having come down the flight of stairs, on both sides you start having cell doors. You can see that most of them are empty. You spot a familiar face, as there is a man that appears at first glance to be recovering from a very strong night of drinking. And sure enough, around the corner there is a woman in metal armor, quite heavy, with the tabard on. And she seems to have a bastard sword, perhaps, or maybe a great sword, sheathed behind her back. She's got her back against the wall, sort of tapping impatiently, and she seems to be trying to sing a tune, but she's completely off key.
Do I recognize the tune?
Whatever that tune was, she completely butchered it.
Oh, okay. So don't
Give
worry
me a knowledge local.
about it. Hey, that's the one knowledge I have.
Sure.
But I got a 7,
No,
so it doesn't matter.
as I said, whatever that song was supposed to be, she butchered it.
He'll kind of step into view and with his Magmar accent that he's running with right now, he'll be like, "Well, I don't know what that was supposed to be, but I do have good news for something that's not your singing career. You got an early shift change."
You're trying to pick a fight with me? She
You
sort of
smirk.
she pushes herself off the back. off of the wall and like goes to grab her greatsword and like lets go of it and goes, trying to pick a fight with me, aren't you? She just takes another step, like she stares you down.
Well, I mean, if I'm not gonna, I can't call you out on your looks, so I gotta call you out on something else, right?
You don't want to talk, eh?
I know, the knife ears.
Oh, I was just talking about your face in general.
Oh, well,
Look at
I
it. You
appreciate
can
that.
almost
I worked
tell.
hard
You
for
can
these
almost.
scars.
You can almost tear it apart down the seams.
Ah, shush. Do you want your shift change or not? I can leave.
Yeah, you can take the fucking shift.
These idiots all been quiet down here, or anyone I gotta watch out for?
Fucking weirdo in the last one. Just keep away from the Zelda.
You tried to grab you?
Hmm. I'm not certain if it was grabbing. Looked more like he was trying to reach for him with a weapon, but he's a sneaky one.
I'll keep an eye on him. Thanks for that.
Try not to get killed. Yeah, you
Well,
wanker.
I'm not gonna make much money if I die.
Hope you do. Have a good one.
You too.
And she fucks off around the bend.
And Red to himself is like, as soon as he hears her go up the stairs, he's like, "Oh, that was a little easier than I thought it would be." Hey, George, you doing all right in that cell over there?
Sort of you see the face that's still quite red on its cheeks, pressed against the bars. Turns again towards the hallway, waiting for the woman to be out of earshot. Turns around and says, "Eh, see you back, right? Been a
Yeah,
while."
boss got me doing a little bit undercover work in town now, so we'll see how this goes. But I gotta talk to this fine gentleman over here. If I
Still
let you
working,
out of this,
still
if I
working
let you out of
fancy.
cell, you mind watching my back?
Ah, clear.
All right, so he'll grab the keys off the wall and let the drunk dude out of the cell so that he can kind of have his back.
The cell that he is in, does look down the hallway, so even if you don't break him out, he will be able to call you out if someone's coming.
Oh, okay. Or, well, actually, maybe you can just keep an eye and let me know if someone's headed in. I'll leave your cell door open though. If I start yelling, just run, open her up and come help.
I gotcha. He sort of taps his nose.
All right. I owe you one.
Got me 5. Alrighty.
Ah, who's counting? Don't worry about it. I'll get you.
Alright.
And with that, he'll turn on his heel and head over to Tatsu, whatever.
Suto.
Tuto, that's it.
So, we see once more Suto in his cell. Suto is a half elf with quite long hair, tied up into a ponytail, raven black hair. And to put it mildly, the past couple days in this cell have not been very kind to him. He seems to be a little bit bruised. There are 2 goblin corpses in the cell still. And he seems to be a little bit marred with either blood or other disgusting fluids. He's got his back turned to the cell door, and he seems to be in some kind of meditative position on the floor. Both his legs and arms seem to be manacled, cuffed, and from his hands there, sorry, from the manacles holding in his hands, there is a chain that goes up to the wall.
If that chain was fully extended, would he be able to reach the bars?
Just barely.
Okay. So, Red will kind of whack at the bars and be like, "Hello, Suto, is it? I got a couple questions for you, my friend."
You see his head turn, and he looks at you over his shoulder.
Well, as you may have guessed, my accent isn't exactly from Magma, so I got a potential arrangement you and me might be able to work out.
Speak.
Do you like? How about this? I could perhaps see that you finding your way out of this cell, but first I need a little bit information from you.
He gives you a soft nod to keep going.
Well, see, the thing is, I work for some interesting characters around Sandpoint, and that you have a or ad, I guess I should say, fancy magic ring worth quite a bit of cash, but they don't know where you got it from. So all you've got to do is tell me where that ring came from and where I might be able to find myself some more equipment of that style. You don't have to say nothing else, just, you know, give me the location. I'm a local, I know the area pretty well, so give me the name and we'll be good. Get the cell open and you'll be on your way.
Certainly. How about you break me out and I'll take you there?
I don't think I'm comfortable with that. See, the thing is, if you got a bunch of friends there and they find out that I'm coming to take a bunch of their stuff, I don't think you're gonna let me just walk in. You're gonna raise a big ruckus and cause me all sorts of problems. So you tell me first, and I'll go there on my own terms.
You look like the kind of man that wouldn't take a job offer lightly. Break me out.
Sorry?
You look like the kind of man that wouldn't take a job offer lightly. How about you break me out and we can figure out some employment options?
Employment options. Oh, you mean for me to work with you?
Right.
Well,
No need to. There's no need
see,
to.
the thing is, I've got kind of a bit of a life debt type thing going on with my current position. So if I leave, then they'll try to come and kill me and kill you guys, and it will just be a bad situation. I don't think that's the way we want to go with this either. You see my problem though?
And we don't have anything to talk about.
But don't you want to get out of the cell? You just gotta tell me where it is, mate. You'll make it there before I do. I can guarantee you that. You know what? It, Look at you. You're all lean and quick moving looking. I mean, you're a bit beat up around the edges, but hell, I'll even give you a head start.
Hmm.
Plus, what you gonna do in this cell? You're just gonna sit there and rot?
Better that than having you running around bothering my beloved. No, I would rather rot in this cell.
Well,
When he says that, he turns his head back around.
wouldn't you like to see your beloved?
Oh, I'll see her, all right.
When are you planning on seeing her?
By the firelight.
That's non-specific.
Oh,
Ah.
it's specific enough. Now
All
stop
right.
bothering me. I'm trying to meditate.
Okay, well, let me explain how this is gonna work. You're gonna tell me where the hell I can find the person who gave you that ring, and I'm gonna let you out of that cell. And that's the arrangement we're working with here. So, as a show of good faith, if you want, I can come in there and undo those manacles on your feet or something. But I'm not gonna let you out all the way because you gotta look at it from my point of view, right? You're just gonna take off if I free you completely. You'll be gone. So we gotta do this a little bit of give and take, right? Is he completely gone, or is it just like...
He seems to be listening, but he doesn't seem to give you much of a reaction yet.
Okay. Well, I will take your silence as a variety of consent, and all right. So he'll open up the cell door and kind of keeping his rapier trained, like out and trained on Suto. He'll
Yep.
go to unlock his legs.
Okay. So you open up the cell door, push it open, walk in, and he seems to be on his knees, right, sitting on his the ball of his feet.
Mhm.
And the manacles are sort of by his arse, as it would be. Um, you would have to kneel down and unlock them from there if you wanted to unlock the feet first.
1 second.
Go ahead. In the meantime, let's do a quick jump. Bell.
Yep.
Uh, the night has progressed quite far. What did you end up doing with the rest of your night after chatting with Amico? You were offered a room for free and some food and drinks to ease your new life.
Yeah, so Bell just came off of that ship, and it was pretty uncomfortable. There were a bunch of people on it. There wasn't a lot of good grub. So he's had his free meal. He's got a free room, so he's probably gonna retire early and get the most out of that room as possible, so that he can get a solid fresh start the next day.
Okay. Um, when you're retiring for the night, seeing as you're retiring early, Amico calls out to you and is like, um, hang on, Belle. Aren't you gonna stick around for some drinks?
I mean, yeah. Hey, I mean, I could, if you want me to.
Uh, I was hoping we could, uh, relax a little bit. Have a nice face to face over some drinks. After I'm done with the shift.
Bell just sort of just he was like sort of walking up the steps. He's got like a foot on them. He sort of just puts a foot down and it gets off the stairs and is like, "Yeah, I mean, I think I'd really like that, but
We can leave it for tomorrow if you're not feeling like it.
I mean, sure."
That's not really a convincing answer. Is that sure tomorrow, sure day?
I I don't know. I'll be in my room if you want to talk to me tonight, I guess.
Okay. Rest up. We can have a chat tomorrow, I guess.
And Bill like sort of nods and is like looking at the floor and he's like, "I'm sorry. You're giving me a free room. I should perk up a bit." Um
It's quite all right. You just got back from Riddleport. It's been a long journey. Just go rest. We can totally just have our chat tomorrow.
okay. All
It's not
right.
it's not like we're going anywhere.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, no, I'll just head to bed then, Amico. You get a good sleep and you feel better.
Well, feeling better is gonna take a while, but yes, thank you. Have a good one.
I'll see if I can get you some potions whipped up tomorrow.
That'd be great.
And Bell will start heading up the stairs and into his room.
All right. Sandy, are you back?
Yes, yes,
Alright.
sorry. All right. So, given that he would sees that's not going to put him in really an advantageous position, he'll be like, "Uh, I'm sorry, Suto. I hate to ask this, but do you mind laying down? Laying down. Just I don't want to. I don't want you to try and punch me or something if I'm kneeling down trying to undo your legs.
Sure.
Would that
How about this? Undo my feet bindings. Let me loose from the wall. You can take me back outside like a prisoner. You'll come up with some excuse. I'll guide you to where this treasure you want is, the actual source of it. You can take me all the way there like a prisoner. Not like I can do much with my hands tied, you pulling from a chain.
are they behind his back or in front of him?
In front of him.
Hmm.
But they are bound like his wrists are together.
Oh, okay. Um. Yeah, here's the thing. I know you're in this cell for a reason, and I take it that that means you're not entirely trustworthy. So I think I need some kind. I'm okay with that plan, but I need some kind of insurance from you, some other way that I know where this place is, right? You got any ideas there, Suto man? We're talking about freeing you. I figured it'd be a little more perky.
Sort of looks at the wall for a moment. And looks over to you and says, have you heard back from some perky kids who were about around these parts lately?
Uh, well, Boss Man did mention some bloke he had a bounty was toying around with for a bounty, but that's about all I heard. But I haven't been hanging around bars much. You wouldn't see too many kids.
He sort of fully turns his head towards you and gives you a smile and says, "Good, good. Right, we can negotiate then, since you've been so kind. How about we go together to Thistletop?"
Thistletop? Oh, I thought that place was always filthy with goblins. You and your gang are set up there now.
We
Huh.
have a little venture going on. I'm sure you could find it quite interesting.
How many people are we talking? How many cuts in?
It's not like that.
Oh, still, you must be getting something out of this. Well, I guess you got your girl, but still. How are you getting paid?
I'm doing it for my lovely, lovely girl. She's a...
So it's just you two?
Oh no, she's hired quite a few people to hands. No need to get into detail.
Oh,
All you need to know
well,
is she knows how to pay those who work for her.
I guess I'll have to ask her that when I get there.
Mason
All right.
Platinum. Fresh.
Oh, jeez. You got more magic stuff as well? I know, like, it's a bit presumptuous, but I love me a magic ring.
She might have one. It all depends on what the outcome of her latest venture has been.
Huh. All right. And with that, Red will kind of stand up and and look at Suto and basically what I want to do here is Red is going to say going to say something and then he's going to throw the keys at Suto's face to kind of distract him and then just start stabbing him.
Okay. Give me a bluff check, I guess, for as if it were a feint with the keys, I guess.
That's kind of what that I wanted to do. All right.
Not
So
not like he could be any more flat-footed than he is, but
Yeah.
all right.
Red'll say, "Well, you know, Suto, that was just the funniest thing. You've been the kindest person and the best prisoner I've ever had to deal with. I didn't even have to try to intimidate you. So I like to thank you." And then he throws the keys at him and starts stabbing.
Yeah, like when you throw the keys, he catches them, thinking that you just threw him the keys to his freedom, and then you go for the stab. Go ahead and attack flat-footed unarmored pseudo. Let's see.
That's 7, plus the intimidation. I don't think that hits it though.
Menacing swordplay. Oh my. No, that does not beat the DC for him, but that is 7 points of damage as you stab him. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Alright.
You should have access to your token down on the bottom.
Oh. Well, I'm a dumb.
What?
I didn't click on it when I rolled it.
Let's do it this way. Whoops, I need to go on the other screen, which is the GM screen. Please and thank you. I'm gonna copy you over so that you're on map, roughly around the area where you're at. And I hope this works. Looks like it does.
The wording on that buff is bad. I don't know why I had a bunch of things in here tied to charisma mod, but they all broke. Anyway.
We'll check it out in a minute.
Yeah, don't worry
All
about
right. So, I wasn't expecting this kind of thing to go down. But here we are. Here we are.
Boss said no loose ends.
No loose ends. All right. You should be at 23.05. Sending. So you stab him in a surprise round, and then it is your turn again. As he's starting to realize what's going on, and he's been struck through the stomach.
And he'll pull the sword out and try to stab him again.
All right, go ahead. He's still flat-footed. Okay.
Oh, that should do it for the menacing sword play.
Indeed it does. As you see him sort of staring daggers back at you, and he winces at the pain as you pull the sword back, and he very rushedly tries to undo his bindings as he's
And
trying to get himself free. He does provoke an AOO.
Red will actually take a before Suto does his thing, because I just have the one attack right now. I guess Red can probably back off, right?
Yeah, you
Like
can 5-foot step back.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking just like out of Suto's reach.
Certainly. Yeah. That being said, the outcome, the current situation does not leave him many options. He continues to unlock the manacles on his hands, and by the end of his turn, he lets loose. He has his hands loose and springs into a standing position, and he's trying to balance himself as his legs are still tied.
All right.
And it's your turn again.
Does he have the shaking condition applied for
Yes.
just the one round or
Yes.
multiple?
He looks like he's terrified of what is about to happen. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
You have no idea how many rounds, but he is most definitely shaken.
I'll try to crit fish here and go again.
All right. As you take a step forward and try to lunge at him, you move in. You try to pierce him, and he manages to pull back and to the side with the dexterity that you can only expect from someone who has been trained as a martial artist for a very long time.
Not bad, Suto. I wasn't expecting you to actually be able to dodge that.
You little bastard! As he jumps to the side, Tux rolls, and as he is on the floor, tries to unlock his feet, managing just that. He provokes as he's moving away from you.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So he jumps to the side, starts to unlock the keys, and you turn around and stab him on the floor, piercing his lungs, and you hear it go as he's starting to suffocate, and you see him wince.
Just lie down and let me finish this quickly. This is a painful way to go, my friend.
Bastard.
Just lie there.
And you can tell that his eyes are closed, and he seems to be just swimming between conscious and unconscious.
All right, Red will just finish him off.
All right. You coup de grace him. You cut his throat cleanly. Tell me, how do you want to finish him off? Wow, that sounded a lot worse than I thought it would. Hey.
So he'll put the what he'll do is he'll stick the sword through the back of his head. because
Okay,
he's kind of
so-
lying there already.
All right, so you do a precise cut on the nape of the neck, um, and you can tell that his body goes completely limp. And just a few seconds later, his lungs are not inflating, and perhaps you're not certain. You have to check. His heart has probably stopped as well. There is
Okay.
a dead man, slowly bleeding on the ground. There's blood on your weapon,
Yep.
but it seems like you hear actually a voice from the corner. Go, hey, you're right there, right? Sounded like a little bit of a close call.
Well, he was a little bit more dodgy than I was expecting, but I mean, he was manacled. I wasn't about to lose that.
Wouldn't let you forget about that one if you did.
Oh, gods, I know you 6. All right. And with that, he'll kind of find something like the bed linens or something and wipe his sword off on it and sheath it.
Sure.
And then,
The blood stains get disguised by the many others that have stained these sheets.
do I have any blood on the tabard or anything?
A few drops.
Okay, good enough. And then he'll go over to George and be like, and kind of look at him and be like, for your kind and chivalrous service, sir. And he will throw him a gold piece.
Oh, it's the charitable one, Red.
Oh, I
Oh,
like
gracious Lord. And he sort of
I
does
like-
a curtsy in jest.
I like to have my fans and friends well protected, and owing me a few. And with that, he'll kind of he'll walk upstairs, kind of like rolling his mouth around a little bit, and kind of stick his head out of the stairwell and be like, uh, sorry to bug you again.
But
Where's the washroom?
what? What do we mean? Where is the washroom?
Well-
You should already know. It's in the barracks.
Okay. Do you want to watch the prisoners, or you just want to stay up here for a second? They were, one of them was asleep, and the other one's just meditating or whatever he does. I think they'll be fine. I'll just be a couple
give me a
minutes.
bluff check, cause
I mean, I guess I'm technically lying.
you are desperately lying, and you're also trying to convince them that everything's fine. Just let me out, essentially.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Waves hands.
Oops.
What do you mean? No, hold it in. Wait for change of shift. You just started shift.
Oh, come on, man! I had some drinks before I started. I don't want to piss in just on the floor down there.
Just open cell and piss in cell.
Come on, dude. Just
Not like prisoners gonna notice the difference.
I'm shy.
We'll cover it up.
Look, I will literally give you gold if you just let me go.
Sort of looks down at the ledger, looks around outside the prison area, and is this fine, but you take double shift for me tomorrow.
100%. Thank you so much. How? Okay, I'll be right back.
Wait. What's your name?
Oh, my name? They call me Decker.
Okay, Decker, like Decker ship.
Yeah, like that, but with an ER.
Decker. Like he starts rummaging through the pages.
Okay, and while he's rummaging through the pages, Red is gonna take the fuck off
All right. Um, in the moment of distraction, he sort of like starts looking through the pages, and as you hear him go like, "Fit, dagger, dagger, dagger." Um, and you hear thump, thump, thump as he stands out of his desk, but you've already gone out and into the night. At the
And
gate, however, like the two men standing guard, sort of like turn to look at you as you're coming out, and they hear from behind the shouts of "Daka, Daka!" Like the two of them turn to you and sort of like hold you for a second and say, what is going on? You're right, Decker."
I may have thrown him an insult that he didn't like. I think he's coming after me. Can you guys protect me?
Me another bluff check.
Where's bluff? There's bluff. Oh my
Oh, no.
god.
That's not the time you want to
Oof.
roll badly.
All right,
Oof.
I'm sorry, Decker, but you're gonna have to face this one on your own. Like, the man
Can
puts
I
a
try to can I try to escape artist and just run?
uh, sure. He tries to put a hand on your chest. You're gonna have to beat his CMD.
That's not gonna do it.
No, unfortunately, with a 14, you're not going to do it. So you try to dodge his hand, and he manages to grab you from the other shoulder, realizing that you just tried to dodge and escape, and he pushes you back towards the prison.
Do we have to go in initiative again here? Because I'm just gonna keep trying to escape.
Uh, Give me one more check for an escape artist before the man whose name you don't know but was browsing through the ledgers comes out and into the main area.
Okay, come on. Yes!
So
Damn, son.
at this point, as you're trying to break away, the jig is up. You notice that the guards, um, the at least the two mercenaries have realized that you are escaping for something more than just insulting one of the guards, and there's something fishy going on. And just as they sort of share a glance, they turn around to try and grab you between the two of them. You leap forward, dodging both of their hands very narrowly, and then break into the night.
Oh, that was close.
Um,
Oh boy.
well, I say break into the night, but it's already dawn.
And fast.
So you for the next couple minutes, you hear guards shouting at each other, trying to find you. You go back into one alleyway, then run into the next, and onto the rooftops. Jump onto the rooftop of the theater. Run across that, and with a couple more moments of distraction, you spot some of your friends from the family uh, building some inconveniences for the guards. A cart getting a little bit loose, a barrel breaking apart and rolling down the street, and sure enough, a few moments later, the guards have lost track of your trail, and you make it back to the bar, the the forgotten bar at the far end of town. Um, that being said, it is already morning. Salera,
Yes.
you wake up having rested last night, having had a joyous and very warm, homely meal prepared by Bethana. Seems like there's something going on outside. There's a lot of people shouting, a lot of people running, and then after a few minutes, they've sort of calmed down a little bit. It was rowdy enough to wake you up.
Well, I wake up kind of a little panicked, like maybe I had a bad dream, but as soon as I wake up, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a and then I realize that it's just commotion from outside, and then I just kind of settle and collect myself and kind of sit up and take a deep breath, um, and get ready for the day.
All right. Belle, same thing happens to you. You've been hearing for the past couple minutes quite a bit of disorder going about. It jolts
Okay.
you awake.
Sorry for the early alarm, guys.
Yeah,
Jeebus.
for real.
It's a little bit earlier than you would usually wake up, about an hour and a half earlier. Hard to tell.
I mean, Belle will try to ignore it.
Okay. Yeah, sure enough. After a few more moments, the noisiness subsides, and you can hear a few of the customers of the inn, the Rusty Dragon, seem to have woken up, and there's some now the noise is coming from indoors. As some people are complaining, some people are coming out of their rooms to go outside and check what's going on.
I mean, if it's inside the Rusty Dragon, Belle will sort of like get up out of bed and like put his ear to the door and like make sure it's locked, kind of thing.
Yeah. It sounds like it's sort of like a domino effect. Because some of the customers woke up, more customers are waking up from the noise of them, and some people are complaining to Amiko or Bethana. It's not burden. You can hear some mumbled.
Does my room have a window?
Yeah. Each room has a window facing outwards.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and look out the window to see if I see what the commotion might be before I do anything.
Okay. You spot two guards
Please.
sort of exchanging information with each other, and they are trying to direct a couple more guards to search down one side or another, and they're trying to solve some kind of crash. It looks like a cart crashed into another, and a horse got loose.
Okay. Well, when I see that, I am a little bit. I calm down a little bit just because that sounds no big deal. And then I'm gonna get ready to get dressed and head downstairs
All right.
since I'm already up.
All right. Dorbin,
Yes.
you wake up, well rested, at the break of dawn. Perform your clerically duties, and by the time you're done, um, you did hear some noises, very faint, going on outside. A guard came into the White Stag, asking about a raven-haired man, possibly an elf, possibly a half elf, with a scar over one side of their face.
Oof. I mean, I have not seen said person, but I will gladly help you look. What did they do? I guess is the main concern.
We're not certain yet what happened, what exactly they did, but they illegally accessed the garrison, pretended to be a guard, and then broke out into the out of the garrison. We just learned about this a few moments ago. We're trying to find them.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'll start. I'll don my armor and help him look.
Right. You spend the next next hour searching for this man, and reports that you get are very mixed and very confusing. Some people say that when he broke out of the garrison, he went to the south. Then you ask someone else, and they say that they went to the north. And then there's another person that says they saw them on a rooftop. And it's like very conflicting reports.
Question: how much does hair dye cost?
We'll say that
I mean-
changing your hair color would be like 5 silver for a month.
Okay. All right, I'll keep that in
mean-
mind.
Maybe you should have had a disguise kit and disguised yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
I was wearing a guard's uniform.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
the
point in-
scar on the face is really gonna give you away.
Yeah.
Good thing you
but-
watched all those makeup tutorials on YouTube.
Yes, definitely.
But
Right.
is there any way I could do better in sifting out?
Sure. Give me a
Info.
sense motive as you're sort of helping the guard get some reports. With the exception of one of the reports, everyone seems to think they saw what they tell you they saw. Like they're very certain of what they are saying. It's like, no, I saw them going that way. It was like a man with black hair, and they were wearing a red and blue armor, and they broke down the main road. And the next report says, no, it was a man with curly hair and like dark brown hair, and they were wearing a gold and green armor, and they didn't have a scar on their face. It was they had a piece of a mask over one eye. And then the other person that's like completely certain is like, no, I saw them on a rooftop. They were wearing blue armor, and it was long, untidy hair, and it was like a little bit wild. I saw them. I'm like, I was this close to them. And
Some people.
While they were on the rooftop.
Sounds about
yeah,
right.
and the one person that you get a little bit of a different reaction from is like, is from the owner of the theater, which is a rather eccentric man. He says, no. I was this close to them. I was finishing some rehearsals, and I stepped out to have a little bit of a smoke. My pipe, it was bright and early. We had been rehearsing all morning, and the man jumped off of of the top of the roof of the theater from the rooftop, landed in some hay after doing like a backflip. By the way, if you do find him, I am looking for a new acrobat for the third act of my play. They did have black hair. I couldn't get a good look at their face, but they had a nice figure, a nice cut of their jib. I couldn't see their facial features. They had a lot of hay sticking to their face and hair, but they were definitely wearing a sort of traditional outfit. I think I've seen one like that around Magnumore. They sell that kind of clothes. I think actually, if you accompany me back inside, I think we have a similar outfit as part of our costumes.
And this is the
And-
one that's lying?
No, this is the one that you get
Oh.
like a feeling of he actually like saw a thing
Okay.
happen, and not a they are excited to give as much information as they can, and you get the feeling that his information is a little bit more accurate.
Okay. Also, would I recognize the description as the person I saw on the boat?
No, because so far, none of the details are very,
Well,
you know.
I would go off of the details of the first guard who came into the tavern had
Sure.
said, which was
Off
black
of
hair.
off of the original report, it did sound like the man that you saw on the boat. It could be a couple of men that you saw on the boat, because
Yeah.
he wasn't the only one with a scar. There,
Mysterious scarred men.
yeah. On the boat there were 3 men with scars on their face. One was a half elf that had a scar running down their. Correct me if I'm wrong. Left side.
I didn't really establish it, but yeah, left
Okay.
over the eye.
Left
kinda-
side of their face over the eye. Another one was a much more muscular man, about twice the size of the other. And their scar went from one eye over their nose and across the other. And then the last man had a scar that went from the end of their lip on the right side all the way to their ear. And it looked like you could see their teeth down to like 2 teeth behind the canines on that side.
Oh wow.
Damn.
That's a gnarly motherfucker.
Yeah.
From the descriptions that you get from the different people, one of them apparently saw the sailor running around in red and black armor. But the other ones, when you ask like which side it was, which side the scar was on, it's like I think it was on the right side. No, wait, it was the left. No, wait, right. It was over the cheek. Like they keep changing the details. However, the owner of the theater brings you inside, and if you accompany him,
Yeah, for sure.
he brings out one of the in the trainees for that are part of the troupe, and they have him dressed actually because of the figure of Fred. They dress her up in a very
That's about right.
sort of tight-fitting but still stylish and loose enough to be comfortable clothing. A white shirt, well tucked, a green vest with a.
Do you need this? Sorry, just crying a lot.
With a golden brooch on the left lapel, and like generic sort of leathery looking pants, and dressed like that, even though you can tell that the face is different completely, and they're wearing a black wig, it does look like the man that you saw on the boat.
Okay.
Come at me, bro.
I don't think you want that, friend.
No. You're my point more being that as soon as he's delivering this message, he is not going to be in Sandpoint anymore.
Well, I very much appreciate all of the help that you have given me. I mean, these are great. I mean, honestly, this is the first like real solid lead that I've gotten, so I very much appreciate it. And I will most likely be talking to the sheriff about your contribution if we do end up apprehending this.
Yes, of course. Anything to help out in town. You know, we've had a couple of bad days, as they say. You know, I just want to get things back to normal.
I appreciate the help.
No easy feat. Getting this troop going on. We finally had our diva show up. She was practicing for her role. We can't have any more distractions, much less thieves running about and ruining the fun for everyone else.
Yeah, I'm sure your theater has a great effect on town morale. So keep doing what you do.
I always put on the best shows. All right. You have your lead. However, you have no fucking clue where your lead is. Well, you have your suspect. You don't have a lead on your suspect.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sigis, after last night's, are you still around?
I am still here.
Thank you. After last night's researching, you probably headed back home to your uncle's. Was
Empty and cold.
he was a little bit confused by the fact that his nephew was back alive, and he sort of like looked at you and was like, "Explain this in the morning because I've had too much to drink, and I think I'm having hallucinations. I hope I'm just like, oh, it's good to have you back, nephew." Like he just leaves the door open and goes back inside. No, he's in
jail. I thought he was in
No,
jail.
he's
for
not in
murdering
jail.
me.
He's under
God,
probation.
He's had his licenses revoked.
He's
License
had his
to practice,
Yep.
etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He's not allowed to leave Sandpoint. He's got a trial pending.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Morning came around and you woke up to the sound of patrols going about. And your uncle was also woken up by the same noises. And once again, he was extremely surprised to see you this morning, alive and back home. And he was like looking out the window and then turns back around and goes like, "All right, right. Sigis, it's good to have you back, nephew."
Absolutely. I'm glad that I think we're both glad that I'm not dead.
Yes. You are actually here. I'm not having another drunken hallucination, am I?
I'm here. I'm here, and I've talked to the mayor. So once we've cleared up that I am in fact very much alive. And
In the middle of your explanation, he just interrupts you, grabs you, and holds you very close in a hug.
Oh, it's very nice.
All right. Okay. Well, I need to get back to work. No. Well, I guess my license is still revoked. Um. Um. Uh, let's go out for breakfast, I guess. And you can tell that your uncle is a little bit disoriented still.
Yeah. Sure. Breakfast sounds good.
Right. Your
You could
uncle
tell me everything that's happened in town since I've been
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. As you walk along the streets, he sort of is looking at people who are looking back at you, and people are whispering when they see you walking down the road. Um, and your uncle leads you all the way down
You
to
guys thought I drew attention.
yeah.
True.
Your uncle leads you back
Wait,
to
everyone thought I was dead?
cough cough. Even though the mayor told you to keep a low profile, but cough.
Oh, did I? Oh, right. I
yeah.
forgot. Well, then I would have not gone to breakfast, but
I mean, I can see Sigis forgetting about that. Give me an intelligence check. Let's see. Let's do it that way.
I'd still fuck this up. But
Yeah. He's a smart man. He wouldn't. He's okay. Yeah.
Never
So
mind.
when you head out, you put your hood up, and you're working with your uncle. Um, People do give you a little bit of a sight glance. They're a little bit, you know, intrigued by who the new apprentice is, and why your uncle is teaching someone after the last fiasco. Um, and you can tell that some people are, sharing some gossip as you walk around town. But sure enough, he brings you over to the Rusty Dragon, to have a hearty breakfast. Once there, Stylera,
Yes.
you came down the stairs, having prepared yourself with no rush. and you find your one surviving companion at the table. Um, However, and perhaps much to your dismay, um, there doesn't seem to be any news from your other companions.
Um, do I notice that Sigus has his hood up?
Yeah, Sirius has his hood up, and he is having lunch with sorry, not lunch, breakfast with his uncle.
Okay. I am gonna come down and say hey and kind of look at Sigus like, okay, weird with the hood. Um, not obviously not even thinking about him trying to be incognito or anything.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ask if I can join them for breakfast.
Mm.
If you don't have any issues with it, uh, I'm fine with it.
Okay. And then I sit them.
All right.
And then I order some breakfast.
All right.
Super uncomfortable conversation with, like, silent chat with my uncle. Everyone
Sort of
just
like,
peeling eggs in silence.
Bethana does keep coming back and forth, bringing fresh food. Durban, where doth your investigation lead you next?
I would probably go report my findings to the sheriff, and honestly let him handle it because it's his investigation,
Okay.
and I don't want to step on toes because I'm the guard. And then I would go to the tavern where I was supposed to meet
All right.
the
So
hotel.
when you bring up the subject the to Sheriff Baylor, who seems to be a little bit grumpier than yesterday. Um, so all right, just look, do not try to approach this subject. He came into the prison last night and murdered uh, a prisoner in cold blood. Just stay away from him as much as you can.
All right.
We'll figure it out and bring them to justice.
All right. I will continue to supply any information that I come across, though. But yeah,
Thank you.
the leader of the theater, the owner, he gave me all the information. So if it leads to arrest, I mean, probably a good idea to reward his vigilance.
Of course, he's always got his fingers in one way or another. I'll make sure to keep his contributions in mind. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right.
Then I'll just leave and head
Yeah.
to the tavern.
Sure enough, by the time that you get to the tavern, it seems that Silera, Sigas, and his uncle are finishing their breakfast. You do recognize as you walk into the somewhat calm tavern, uh, the golden-haired woman that was described to you, as she doesn't seem to be neither elf nor half elf nor human, but has some kind of a little bit uh, of their sort of genetic traits, without quite turning into one or the other, or even a half elf. And she seems to be a little bit fairer even than the most beautiful of elves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would I happen to have come across? I mean, because I as a person know that she's an Asmar. Would I, as Dorban, have come across quite a few Asmar beings?
You've come
in this
across one or two Asimars in the past, but you know each Asimar has
Yeah.
traits.
They have very distinct
yeah.
things each about them. All right.
It strikes you as this creature that is so fair. would very possibly be an SMR.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense that they would be an elf or a human.
So I have my suspicions, and that's all I'll base this off of. All right. I mean, I will approach the table.
Sure. The two of you and Sigis's uncle, you see a stout dwarf. What are you wearing? Actually,
Mountain pattern armor.
oh right, of course. This stout lad with a mighty beard, sporting this quite heavy and sturdy, but flexible armor, approach you. Can we help you?
I was sent by the sheriff to talk to the heroes of Sandport about some issue that you may have recently had with Thistletop.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, that is correct. We had some loss. But we are back and we are gathering what we can, and if you are willing to fight some evil, we would love to have you in our group. Where are you from?
I am from the Sky Citadel of Jorhoff.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a long way
Ooh,
to
it
travel.
sounds so whimsical. Yeah,
Fancy.
exotic.
That's pretty fucking far away.
Yeah, it is. It's really fucking far away.
Oh, wow.
I came here seeking to, I guess, honestly, right some wrongs that I had encountered on my journeys, traveling around. I'm a healer of sorts, but I find that protecting my compatriots is just as important as healing the wounds that they may have.
Well, you sound like just the person that we need. What do you think, Sigis?
I think you'll do just fine. You want to take a seat?
Of
Yeah,
course.
join us.
Is sorry, I'm not sure. Is my uncle still there?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
uncle is sort of sitting there and like looking back and
Yeah.
forth between the two, and, like with a little bit of
Yeah,
a
I'd be
confused
like-
look. Like, are you thinking of going back out there?
Yeah, Uncle, I've really enjoyed catching up with you, but I think we have some business to discuss that we have been asked to keep
Right, of course.
under wraps. Would you mind excusing us?
Of course, nephew. I'll go back to my shop, to my house.
We'll make it up to you later.
Yeah. Of course.
And seeing that he seems unsure about us going back, I will lean in and whisper to him, saying that you don't have to worry, I'll make sure he gets back alive. It's literally my job.
And,
Thank you. Thank you. That's
while they're kind of finishing their conversation, I'm gonna turn to this stout, long bearded man, and I'm gonna say, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name."
Ah, sorry, where are my manners? It's something I've been trying to work on. My name is Dwarven Plate Rock.
Nice to meet you. I am Solera Sundra,
It's pleasure's all mine.
and this is Sigit.
Guess I'll offer a hand to shake.
I will shake your hand.
It's a really bad handshake. It's like a dead fish. It's bad.
It's all clammy.
Uncomfortable for everyone involved.
I mean,
Cute.
I expect as much from the
Hilarious just
weaker races.
standing there looking awkwardly at this happening.
I know, I'm like, this is cute. I love it.
Belle.
He's trying to.
I think it's about this time that you finally roused yourself from sleep and brought yourself back
Mhm.
downstairs. As you watch
Yep.
at the bottom of the stairs, very much recovered Celera, apparently, sharing a meal with a dwarf and a hooded man.
All right. Well, place seems pretty calm. Bell's just gonna kind of yawn, like adjust his hat, and then just sort of sit at the bar and wait for a bit, and maybe get some food.
Yeah. Um, as the conversation continues on at the table, Amiko sort of brings you a freshly brewed coffee and puts it in front of you and says, "You know, you should probably talk to those guys over there. They have the same kind of." He takes a pause. Um, venturing, adventurous spirit, I think, uh, as we used to.
That's a way to put it. All right. Um, yeah. I guess I can go have a word with them. Would you do me a favor and introduce me?
Sure. Give me a minute. And you see her go back into the kitchen, and she brings out a tray with some coffees. Um, she comes out of the bar area and gestures for you to follow. Um, the three of you at the table, now that the uh, Siggis's uncle is gone, you see um, a very tall hat with a man underneath approaching the table, being led by the owner of this establishment.
What is this hat like? We've mentioned it. How big
Go
is
to
this
the
hat?
go to
Go,
the
yeah,
stream.
Hang
yeah,
on.
go to
Hang
Twitch.
on. Oh yeah. The stream does have it.
Takes
It's
over
a
his whole freaking
big
body.
hat.
So
It's
most
large.
of his painting is just the hat. That's how
Yeah.
big the hat is in comparison.
It's a very large hat. Yes.
The
Yep.
hat is
Like,
big
if you
enough that it
If you
covers.
scroll down to his token, you can see it takes up like a solid third of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Um.
a large hat.
So
Yeah.
you see this hat man controlling hat led by the owner of the establishment. And she brings some coffees down, puts the tray down and says, how's everyone hanging on? Everything's has everyone's accommodations been good? Salera, do you need anything else?
If I could get another cup of coffee, also, thank you for everything that you did for me last.
No, don't even worry about it. Um, thank Bethana. She does all the heavy lifting lately. Um, I do want to introduce you to someone. He's an old friend of mine. We went on a few, well, one very long adventure together. Um, I think you probably you'll probably enjoy his company. I do from time to time. She gives you a little bit of a. You can tell that there's some kind of jab between them, and she gestures for Belle to step on in. Belle, this is Silera, and not certain I've met you. She gestures at you, Dorban.
We have not had the pleasure. I am Dorban Platelark. And if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't. I would appreciate if I could get some breakfast. Actually, that'd be wonderful.
Hi, Dorban. My name's Amiko, owner of this fine establishment. I'll get you that coffee right away. All right, Sigis, don't go anywhere. She sort of looks back, thinks for a couple seconds, and then just goes back to the kitchen.
Bell stands there awkwardly holding a coffee, watching Emiko go back to the kitchen. And then he sort of turns to everyone. He turns to everybody and is just like, "Hey guys, I'm Bell." And he sips his coffee.
And the first thing I say is, I like your hat.
I like your face. You're really pretty.
Thank you.
And then he looks at the laughing dwarf and is like, "Hey man,
Elegant.
you look really strong. You look like really
Thanks.
strong. Yeah, man." And then he turns to look at Sigus and is like, "You look really like, I don't know."
Oh god.
How astute.
He looks very hooded.
Yep.
Yeah, Siggy, why are you wearing that hood?
Shh.
Coming
Oh,
straight from the underground, right?
Ugh. Oh, I
Oh.
can't drop the next line over chat. It doesn't flow. um, yeah, well, I'm supposed to be keeping a low profile, but I was also hungry.
Oh, that
Yeah.
explains that. I was wondering if it was a new fashion state.
No. Yes, I'm going through a phase right now. Uh,
Going through a face.
Oh man, is that a bird?
shut up, Korax. Belle, why don't you take a seat?
All right,
Yeah. Kappa squat, friend.
Yeah, join us.
all right, sounds good, guys. And he'll just
Right.
like pop a squat.
While you
Eesh.
guys are enjoying some coffee, and from time to time you see the black beak of Korax Surf pop from Siggis's clothes to peck at the cookie in front of in his plate. Um, there's sort of a little bit of a lull in the tavern. Meanwhile, in the actual underworld,
Meanwhile, back at band camp.
back at band camp.
Meanwhile,
Hey,
back
Red.
in Hobo Murder Party.
Back at Murder Hobo Party. Hey, Red.
Yeah.
You show up at the bar, and they receive you very quickly, trying to hide you.
Yeah. I want to see how this turns out.
Yeah. You can tell that the boss is waiting for you at the usual table, and there is already a dagger stuck on the table. And he gestures for
Bef-
you to take a sit.
But before,
No, sit.
he's just like, and then sits down.
Yeah. He strokes his very long mustache and he curls it a little bit and goes, "All right. Subtlety, we've established is not your forte. You already have a bounty for you. I would expect you to be a little bit more cautious, more stealthy. Seems years of training you leave so much to desire. Ready, boy. So tell me, please, tell me you know where this ring came from."
In fact, I do, boss man. But given my increased bounty and the aforementioned hole in my hand from our previous discussion, I I thought it wise that I might bring up a potential for my future employment with you before I disclose said information.
Sort of cocks his head and goes, Are you holding information hostage from me?"
Well, not so much that, because I do plan on telling you, but I'm worried you're going to take that dagger there and run it through my throat as soon as I tell you.
You're lucky
Understandably, I think.
I haven't run it through your ass already. Now,
There's my point.
now, I'm a very sensible man. I can negotiate. You have
Right.
been a little bit more of a nuisance lately. little bit of a misbehaving child. Now, we can get you to go on a little vacation. Make sure that refreshed in a while. Or we can do this the way you know we do things.
Yeah, I'm
And give
not
you
a
a permanent
big
vacation.
fan of doing things the permanent vacation style. So actually, that's similar to what I was thinking of initially. But of course, let's you say your piece first, and then I'll chip in if I've got any ads.
Sort of looks at you. Look, there's one tiny, small, itty teeny tiny, smallest job I have for you. All I need you to do is take care of one more loose end that we have going on in this town, then we can call it even. Just let me know where the thing I want is. Go do this final job, and whether you succeed or not, my problem with you is solved.
Ooh, well, okay. Before I agree to that, who is the loose end we're speaking of?
Well, that's where things get a little bit complicated. I'm not certain who it is. Someone. I'm still trying to figure it out. Well, they did something to my poor boy. Gives you a little bit of a sarcastic smile. Want to figure out what happened to this Robin when he went off on their latest adventure? And whoever took care of him, I want you to take care of them. Well, bring back my coin from Robins's pouches.
That seems like something I could take care of. He wouldn't be happen to have been part of some sort of group of kids, would he?
Funny you should mention it. He was a little bit of a local town hero.
Huh.
Had a
Tuto might have mentioned something about them.
right. So you got your lead. Got where to start.
Right. And to be clear, I will drop the whole Bisky's tooth thing in the future, just to make sure we don't have any further disagreement.
If you only could have done that so many times earlier.
Well, I wanted to make you infamous. That's a word. You know, feared throughout the land, most powerful crime lord of the Skazani. You know?
Profile, low one. Always low profile.
Yeah.
Look, ready, boy.
Getting that now.
We brought you up. You're like a nephew to me. So, understand that what I'm offering you here is one last kindness. From a caring uncle to his nephew. Finish this job, and we're done. You can take vacations, just stay clear of my area, and we'll be, as they say, done with our business.
That
Capiche?
seems equitable. I can certainly take care of some whoever killed a boy or whatever the hell that is. By the way, I'm just gonna move over to the door, and then if you don't mind accompanying me, I will say where the location is, and then I will quickly leave you. And so yeah.
He stands
Well,
up, grabs his dagger from the table, and you can see it. You can see him as you walk towards the door. He's flipping the dagger up in the air and catching it very nonchalantly. Come on, ready boy. I have one more last job to do. I want my treasure.
All right. Well, I will honestly say you guys have done right by me. So even if our business is concluded, if ever there is anything, that you or any of the family need, let you know I got your back.
You can't really ever leave the family, ready boy.
I know. I just want to make sure you remember that. Okay, I'm going to leave now. It's Thistletop. And
Yeah,
just
like,
takes off.
Just before you say that, just before you say it's Thistletop, he sort of it has one hand on your back and gives you a small pat, and as you say Thistletop, you can feel like he was about to grab you from the collar of your clothes, and you just barely managed to escape from it. And as you sort of steal a glance back at where you came from, you can tell that Jubrail is giving you a smile that is a strange mixture between amused and proud.
Well, I did one thing right, I guess. And oh, I guess I got to figure out where he's gonna go.
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
oh yeah, my lead, right?
Yep.
Are there any Thieves Guild people standing outside that I could quickly ask?
Well, you do have to sprint away from Jubrail's
So
range of throwing a dagger, but
yeah, so I guess not probably.
you sort of break into an alleyway, and almost as if they were waiting for you, you see Ruth with her parrot over one shoulder.
Oh,
She
fuck,
he
Ruth.
sort of looks at
You have
you a little
no
bit.
idea how good it is to see a friendly face.
Right, so why are you cutting it off, eh?
Yeah, he's had about enough of me, I think, for a good long while anyway. Till we need
Pity.
someone buried.
A pity. You were always fun to have around, Red.
Well, I do appreciate the distraction yesterday or earlier. That saved my ass. I thought those guards had me for sure.
No, it's been a long day, but it's just this morning, Red.
Yeah. Oh, you
Still
know
the
what I
same
mean.
day.
It was midnight when I went in there. I haven't slept in a bit. Uh, do you happen to know a kid named Robin? Oh, yeah, I think that was his name.
Yeah, the kid with the bounty.
Yeah. Apparently,
Yes, sir.
someone's
His,
some
his
someone's axed him.
oh, shit. He was a
Yeah.
fun kid.
Last job is supposed to be getting his coin back for the boss and taking off. Actually, on that, if you don't mind, can I drop off the stuff with you when I retrieve it? Just
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll get
sure
it to
I'm
the
the
boss
most
for you.
welcome.
That's fine.
Thanks. I owe you one. Or several.
2 today.
Yeah, well, we'll add that to the ledger.
Right, so, looking for Robin, right?
Yeah, you got any associates? I had mentioned that he hung out with some kids or something.
Yeah, he is running around with the other heroes of a Sandpoint. But you're gonna need a new face, Red. Before you go, anyway.
Right. Ideas?
Come back to my place. I have, I think I can do a thing with it. Well,
I mean,
your 2 halves.
I don't want my looks too much. If you catch my drift, I do find myself appealing, but if you got something that can maybe make me a little bit different looking on the permanent side of things, that might be for the best.
Do something with makeup, but that'll last a couple days most.
Oh, well, I'll have to be enough for now.
Come along. Let's go back to my place. And when she says her place, you can see that a couple buildings down the alleyway, there's very very well camouflaged into the bricks. Is a sort of a stairway that leads up to an attic window.
All right. So yeah, so he'll
Yeah.
go with Ruth and do that bit.
Right. And that's where we're gonna end our session today. Which
Sounds about right.
strangely, unfortunately, we haven't been able to finish quite all of the introductions, but most likely next week we'll be heading back to Thistletop. I'm most certain.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Birthday
Yep.
stream.
Birthday stream. My
Well,
gift
since
to
not
you
allowed
shall
to
be
kill you
death.
on the birthday stream.
Yeah.
Birthday TPK, here we go.
That being said, I hope that everyone enjoyed the session, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna end
Yeah, man.
stream now. So goodbye,
Thanks,
stream.
man. Was fun.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
stream.